Another day, another DCOM where a very pretty girl is like, I don't have friends because I'm smart. I'm too smart to have friends.
Meanwhile, the most annoying girl you've ever seen in your whole life is the queen of the world and popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's pretty too, but it really just goes to show confidence is king. That's the only thing that actually matters.
Yeah. If she just took off her glasses more.
Then she couldn't see. Except for the fact that she takes her glasses off half the time.
All the time.
In this
I
film.
honestly think her glasses are fake.
I also think they're fake. I think she did it because she wants to look smart.
Right.
So, basically, fuck May.
May and Gabriela Montez are like, people don't like me because I'm smart, but they're literally some of the most beautiful girls. And they're really nice. Girl, you can have friends.
If you just have confidence, you'd be completely popular.
Yeah. And then they have the hot jock immediately want to date them.
Yeah. Hot Jock wants to date him before this movie even starts.
Yeah. And Roy Bolton is like, I immediately want to date you.
So basically, this is High School Musical. Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
That was taking too long for you.
Yeah.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm BenG.
And this is the DCOM Duo
Podcast.
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 Podcast. Don't challenge me.
Today we're talking about how to build a better boy.
Hooray!
Which is a DCOM. I don't know if you know.
How to Build a Better Boy is a Disney Channel original movie. That's what we cover here. We like to talk about the movie, talk about the cast, and then give our opinions and stuff throughout. So if you're not here for that, I don't know why you're on this.
How to Build a Better Boy. I did not know about this movie before watching all of them. Not that it's not recent enough. I mean, 2014 is when it came out. I was done watching Disney Channel by then, but I just I don't know how big this one was.
I feel like I vaguely remember this one existing, but honestly, only really in passing. And even then, I might just be lying. It's very samey in a lot of ways to a lot of other, not just DCOMs, but media around that time, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Not much visually stands it out. When you dig into this, I really like this movie.
I like this one a lot too. It is similar to other ones, but the humor really lands for me, and on purpose for this one.
This is one of the rare films that in DCOM where I'm like, okay, I genuinely can get legitimate enjoyment out of this. There's very little cringe in here, honestly.
No,
just Nevaeh, which is whatever.
Which she's supposed
to be. Yeah. It's this is one of the most simultaneously one of the most competently written DCOMs with some very clever gags and also just very stupid.
Yeah.
Which, again, I feel like this is one of the rare DCOMs that knew exactly what it wanted to be and became it.
Yeah. Honestly, Paul, pat yourself on the back for this one.
Yeah. This is again a very rare DCOM being it's just genuinely successful in entertaining the way I think it was intending to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the best DCOM. I think it's good.
I think it's good. Yeah.
And I think we're just gonna really talk positive about it. It doesn't succeed in everything. Some jokes still fall flat. Some general plot stupid, but it really is mostly quite successful.
Yeah, I feel like this kind of falls under wraps, pun intended, DCOM pun intended. It kind of falls under wraps. It's around this era where it kind of started to die out, right before Descendants kind of picked up and brought a little bit of a beacon of hope again for Disney Channel. But, there's this kind of gray area, but I feel like in this era there were some hidden gems. So this and The Swap, I'm dang, they did have some good movies coming out.
They were doing a little bit something.
But I feel like nobody was paying attention, or maybe that's just my bias.
Because we weren't paying attention
because I wasn't paying attention.
This is the time in our lives we were probably the least tuned into Disney Channel.
Yeah, when I was 15.
We're too cool.
Too cool for Disney Channel.
So I'll also say this about How to Build a Better Boy quickly. I think this is the film watching it this time. It took me way too many episodes for me to like really verbalize this. Sci-fi is just by far the best genre for DCOMs.
You did have like an enlightened moment when we're watching this. You're like, dang, I just like the weird technology.
To me, I think it's just the thing that works best with a bad budget is the
Yeah.
fact that they're going for these goofy little shenanigans. They're all not that serious, a lot of these good ones. And they all have more interesting plots because stuff is always happening in these movies. And I appreciate
Mhm.
that.
And it's fun seeing, yeah, the like low budget take on how do we portray this like futuristic technology.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like other films like this include, say, The Other Me or
Mhm.
Minutemen,
Pixel
Pixel Perfect,
perfect.
Can of Worms.
Mhm.
Like there's some like the Poof Point, which I don't think fully succeed. But
Mhm.
even then, the plot isn't really what I dislike about the Poof Point.
Right.
I feel like it is the best generic plot structure is the sci-fi something's going wacky. Invisible Sister.
Yeah, but there's also a crucial negative, and that is zapped.
That is true. Zap proves that you can still just be bad as long as you just get kind of legitimately offensive. We'll get to Zap
Well, yeah,
eventually.
yeah. So anyway, before we keep talking about how to build a better boy, um, do we have fan mail?
We actually have multiple pieces of fan mail.
Huzzah!
Wow. So I'm going to talk about these first off. In our community post on YouTube, this is posted way back when we collaborated with Cam Sandwich on a about DVD board games.
Yeah.
Dragon Realm 7068 commented saying, "Just saw this video, gonna drop a subscribe."
Yeah.
Thank you, Dragon Realm. Uh, we appreciate it. As a side note, we have hit 100 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes, we
Pretty
did.
cool.
Thanks to help to that guy.
Yeah.
He was one of them. We did start to put together a little 100 subscriber special that is YouTube only. We just have to, edit it, and that's gonna be a little bit of a process, but keep an eye out because that might be coming out relatively soon. Hopefully it's enjoyable. If not, thank you anyway for getting us 100 subscribers on YouTube. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Next up, we have our good friend Micah, who's commented in the past couple episodes as well.
Hell yeah.
First off, on our zombies episode, saying that they are the first, they have always been here, and they'll always come back. So we appreciate that, Micah. And also that they're going to be a counselor slash supervisor slash volunteer at a summer camp over the summer.
Sounds like Zombies 4 plot.
Yeah, I was going to say, this seems very, because commenting on the zombies episode, so
Yeah.
very tied there. And there's a lot of camp counselor decoms, actually.
There's Den Brother.
There's Camp Rock.
Oh, and Camp Rock 2.
Yeah. I'm sure there's more if I could think longer. Probably. Maybe.
I'm not sure.
We're going to just stop
Zombies
that.
4.
Thank you for commenting, Michael. We appreciate it. And lastly, we got, yo, this episode is awesome from Bertie Bardo 3389, aka Jacob,
Oh, yeah.
who was a part of that episode. Our
Thanks,
zombies
Jacob.
episode was fun. Thank you for joining us for that, Jacob.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
All right. With that, that was all the fan mail. If you want to send us fan mail, all of those were YouTube comments this time. I might miss a YouTube comment here or there, but try and keep track of them.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you can email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com.
Yeah. All right. Are we going to start with the factos?
Oh, we can do the DCOM Duo factos. That's so true. Everything's branded here. This film released August 15th, 2014.
Woohoo.
It was the 95th DCOM. So,
Wow, 5 away from 100.
yeah. We always say stuff about this like, yeah, the general progression of time makes sense for this one.
Yeah.
As alluded to, this is directed by Paul Hohen. Please come on the podcast, Paul.
Oh my God.
This would be incredible.
Paul, I would love to meet you. You've directed so many.
You've directed.
DCOMs.
Just imagine the stories he has.
You want me to read them off this time?
Go for it. We can shake it up.
Read and Weep, Luck of the Irish, Let It Shine, You Wish, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, True Confessions, Jump In, Cheetah Girls One World, Dad Nap, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam, Cloud 9, How to Build a Better Boy, Invisible Sisters, and all 4 zombies movies. 4 hasn't come out yet. But there is a release date, guys. There is a release date. It's July. We've talked about on the podcast, when are they gonna have a release date? It's coming out in July, and then we're going to the concert when they come to Minnesota, and it's gonna be amazing. Paul, are you gonna be there, Paul?
We might have to do a live, or not live, but reaction.
Maybe we'll just make a TikTok or something and be like, oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah, I wonder what the average age is going to be for that.
Yeah, we're in the back.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't be too weird.
Yeah. At least it's not like Kids Bop.
Yeah, it is like the stars of the movie that we watch and enjoy, and well, it's not like Dove Cameron and Milo Manheim, but still.
Yeah. It's all about the people in the movies that we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right, though. We have watched them, so it'll still be exciting. Anyway, back to Paul. Paul, you directed so many. A lot of them are pretty great, actually.
He has hits and he has misses.
Yeah.
And with how many he did, that's hard to believe, but I do think he is an above average hitter.
Hell yeah.
He won a DGA award for Let It Shine and Jump In. He got a nomination for this one.
Oh.
Yeah, among other stuff. He did a bunch of other kids' TV shows as well as producer, director. I always just mention Andy Mack because he did a lot of episodes of that. And then the one extra connection here is he directed the music video for Something Real, aka the China Anne McClain song from this movie.
And the other girl sings in it too.
Yeah. Kelly Berglund.
Yeah, they both sing on it.
Yeah. All right, now we can move on to the cast. Speaking of which, China Anne McClain. She plays Gabby Harrison.
It's about time we see China Anne McClain on this podcast.
Yeah, she is done a lot of DCOMs.
Love her. Really, I mean, it's this one and then Descendants.
Yeah.
It's not Descendants is a franchise, and she isn't even in all of them. She's introduced in the second one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She got her start in acting by doing a bunch of Tyler Perry projects. Tyler Perry is just one of those guys where it's he's done so much stuff and had such an impact on the TV and film world.
Yeah.
I probably should have watched a single thing of his before, but I'm watching. But yeah, she was in Medea's Family Reunion, Daddy's Little Girls, and House of Pain. That was the TV show. She was a part of the main cast of that, and now is still a recurring character on it. She had a full show on Disney Channel, being Ant Farm.
Ant Farm.
That was her show. It was the Let's Make China Anne McClain a show. She was one of the main children in the Grown Ups films, the daughter of the Chris Rock character and Maya Rudolph character. Okay. Yeah. So, starred there. As mentioned, she was Uma in the whole Descendants franchise.
Yes.
Starting with Descendants 2.
Which, I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about Descendants, but I thought putting her in that franchise was so smart.
Yeah.
She
honestly kind of surprised that she wasn't to begin with.
And I feel I guess I don't know the exact timeline, but I feel like she was done with Ant Farm, and she easily could have slipped away, but they brought her in for Descendants, and it was amazing.
And she's one of very few people to actually return for Rise of Red.
Yeah.
Which is a spin-off film, more or less. So.
It is, but she was there for that, which is very fun, very cool. She is a big talent that they found, for sure. I enjoy her a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She had one of the main roles on Black Lightning. That was I believe a CW DC superhero show. And then she's had a fair bit of music success through both Ant Farm and Descendants. Her song "Calling All the Monsters" charted on the Billboard Hot 100. She also had some success with her sisters. She had a band called Three with 3 I's instead of an E. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now you opened for Big Time Rush. So
whoa,
clearly they're a big deal. Talk about what a riff that is from Big Time Rush.
I know.
How iconic is that?
Remember the trend where you edit it in movies when someone falls or something? It's in Star Wars.
Dramatic moment.
Yeah, in Star Wars when Luke finds out Darth Vader's his father and falls, and it goes
All right, moving on. Playing the role of May Hartley is Kelly Berglund. She was in the main cast of Lab Rats and its spin-off show Lab Rats Elite Force.
Oh,
I was not watching the Disney Channel and I have not watched a single episode of any Lab Rats thing.
neither
I
have
know it
I.
existed and was like relatively popular.
Exactly. I definitely knew it existed.
Yeah. Uh,
Wasn't that Disney XD?
Elite Force was XD.
Oh, okay,
Lab
but
Rats
Labrador.
itself.
Gotcha.
More recently, she was on the Stars shows Heels and now Apocalypse, and she had recurring roles in the shows Animal Kingdom and The Goldbergs.
Whoa.
Yeah, still doing stuff, but no Cheyenne McLean. Sorry.
Yeah.
Playing the role of Albert Banks slash X-17. I've been waiting. Kelsey just had her mouth go agape. She is shocked, and I've been waiting this whole time. Specifically knew this information as we were watching the film, waiting to see if you would call it out, and you never did. This guy is like a main cast member of the 6th season of Glee.
Oh my god.
You want to talk about that?
He's Spencer from season 6 of Glee. That is not an insignificant role. He was one of the newbies that was specifically introduced for season 6. He had solos. He was part of the Glee Club. I did not recognize him. Oh my god. When was that's around this time? 2014?
Mm-hmm.
That was around the last season of Glee. Holy shit. His head is shaved in that.
Mm.
And that might be
That
part
might
of
be the
it.
hair dot,
The
yeah.
context is so different. But oh my god, he sings in this movie. And
Yeah, he
sings
does.
on Glee. Oh my god. I can't
What
believe
fake Glee
he
fan?
looks so different to me in this movie that he looks on Glee. That's crazy. I feel like people don't like him on Glee, actually. If I'm remembering right. The general opinion is like, nah, I don't really like his singing voice or something.
Aw.
But he was alright.
I thought in this film he did pretty well.
Yeah,
I
I
thought he
liked him.
played the role pretty fun. It's a little quirky. He looked very much like a kid I was friends with freshman year of college, and for some reason that's what I kept putting my mind into. Just someone I was in the doors with that, yeah. So for some reason that's like all I can think of. Other than this film and season 6 of Glee, he really doesn't have that many notable acting credits.
Mhm.
But he has like decent success as a model. So
Okay.
sure, yeah. Honestly, again, I thought he did decently well here. Kind of sad he didn't do that much otherwise, but I guess the Glee must have tanked him if people did think he was bad.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Playing the role of Bart Hartley is Matt Shavely, who is way more popular than I thought. Like he's did stuff. This was kind of like a Nickelodeon Steal the Stars. Like the rest of the cast is a lot of Nickelodeon stuff, if I'm
Yeah, that's
remembering right.
interesting.
He had a main role on True Jackson VP.
Who was he on that?
I never watched True
'Cause
Jackson VP.
I did watch it, and I definitely recognize the other girl we're gonna talk about who's she's like the one of like the second biggest character on True Jackson VP. I don't know who this guy is. Let me look him up. You keep talking.
Yeah. He also had a main voice role on Winx Club, which is also
Wow.
Nickelodeon. In Paranormal Activity 4, he was like the lead actor in that. Not that those films ever really do anything with actors in general, but like it's interesting. That's a very popular film that he is like the lead role in. He was a lead on the TV show The Real O'Neills, as well as many appearances on other popular TV shows. He currently has a main role on the sitcom Lopez versus Lopez. That's like the new George Lopez show.
Oh.
Uh, and I found it funny looking at his Wikipedia page that he was apparently inspired to act by seeing Shia LaBeouf on Even Stevens. That's like, oh, I want to act because Shia LaBeouf did it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
he was
and
in
then
a Disney Channel original.
he's also apparently has a band with Sterling Knight,
What?
which is like both of those are wild facts of other people we've talked about for DCOMs.
Sterling Knight can't sing his own songs.
Hey, he's sung Starstruck.
Yeah, I think that was the one that he
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I looked him up for the True Jackson VP, and he's in all these pictures. I just don't remember his character. Oddly enough, I don't know. It was a long time ago that I watched it. So
He has a very interesting role in this film because he's very much set up to kind of be a wacky character, and he turns into the only straight man in the actual film.
He's the only one taking things as seriously as they should be taken.
And I feel like that, again, I feel like this is a film that succeeds pretty much because the script is quite good.
Yeah.
The general plot and like the jokes within it.
Yeah, he was very enjoyable in this film.
And this is a character that would have been so easy to mess up.
Yeah, and this is the one thing really that I look back and I'm like, yeah, I like that movie. I remember really liking his performance and his comedy in this movie.
So good job. Good job, Matt.
Good job, Matt.
Playing the role of Nevaeh, that's heaven spelled
Did
backwards.
you know that's heaven spelled backwards?
Barnes is Ashley Argota. She had main roles, as Kelsey alluded to, on True Jackson BP.
Yeah.
Also, the Bucket and Skinner's Epic Adventures, which was another Nick show.
Okay.
I don't know much about, but who am I to judge? She had recurring roles in Lap Rats, the Disney Channel show, as well as The Fosters.
The ABC Family.
Yeah.
Now known as
So there's
State
the
Farm.
Disney connections.
Yeah.
And lots of other various TV roles, still acting to this day. Just nothing that I felt worth writing too much about.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? I can't believe we haven't mentioned, alluded to this fact at all.
No.
This is, the most jaw-dropping thing here. Playing the role of Jaden Stark is Noah Centineo.
Yeah, what the heck? I forgot, because I feel like we did maybe realize it the first time we watched it, but it was years ago we watched it for the first time, and I hadn't watched it at all since. But, looking at the credits, it's like, oh my god, Noah Centineo is in this? He looks so baby in this, but it definitely is him.
Yeah. I'll say this. Both Kelsey and I know Noah Centineo as this, big teenage heartthrob, big name. I honestly know very little of his actual stuff.
He's in multiple Netflix films as a teen heartthrob. I feel like he hasn't done much recently.
He was just in the movie Warfare, which released a couple weeks ago as of recording.
Okay, so
There's
maybe
a main role in there.
I just don't keep up with him, I guess.
Yeah. Other stuff he did for Disney Channel, he had minor roles on Austin and Ally and Shake It Up.
Okay.
He was a part of the main cast of The Fosters for season 3 through 5.
Oh.
He's in All the Boys I've Loved Before, which I think is his biggest.
Yeah, that was his breakout, I think. And that's how he became a heartthrob.
Other big roles that he's had were in Black Adam, the 2019 Charlie's Angels reboot, The Perfect Date, and The Recruit. And he's doing stuff.
Swiped or whatever that dumb Netflix movie was.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. He is definitely a big name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because he's just not that big of a role here.
No, but a big enough role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Playing the role of General McPhee, just the crazy general in this film.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Is Ron Lee. He has over 200 credits, some from 1969 to 2025. So he's just been acting a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing that crazy big. The biggest projects I wrote down were Doc, Street Legal, Wind at My Back, Flashpoint, a lot of other stuff. But he's very much like a character actor. He's doing small bit roles and filling his niche.
Yeah.
So making a career out of it. And everyone in this film is fun in their performances.
Yeah, and they know it's to be goofy. They go the extra
This is an intentionally goofy movie.
Yeah, they're phoning it in a little bit in a fun way.
Yeah. Finally, playing the role of the dad of the movie, Dr. James Hartley, is Roger Bart. And this was another one where I was like, oh, this guy's actually way bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of stuff you have written
down. He was a Tony Award winner for playing Snoopy in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Is that where Poor Sweet Baby is from?
I don't think so. I believe You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown is a completely different thing. This is the big stage production.
Okay.
He was also nominated for The Producers, which is a very famous play there. And Back to the Future, the musical, pretty recently he played Doc Brown and got nominated for that. So a lot of Broadway success. He was also the main role in Young Frankenstein, Broadway show.
Okay.
A lot of success. A lot of success. For TV, he's had recurring appearances on Desperate Housewives, How I Met Your Mother, episodes, A Series of Unfortunate Events, lots of other TV as well.
Huh.
Found it interesting. His Wikipedia page talks a lot about how he was very close friends with Jonathan Larson, the creator of Rent. He's the namesake of Roger, the main character of Rent.
That's cool.
Like that's named after the guy who plays the quirky dad in How to Build a Better Bike. He was also like a part of early presentations of all of Jonathan Larson's work, including Rent, Tick Tick Boom, Suburbia. So
That's cool.
he's like had major roles in all of that. He was Hercules' singing voice in Hercules.
The Disney movie
Yes.
Hercules. That's really cool.
He got an Oscar nom. Well, Go the Distance was nominated for an Oscar,
Which he sang.
which he sang, but technically, Oscar noms for song only go to the songwriter.
Right.
So,
But it's cool that he performed it.
yeah. For as much as like I found fun in the cast, honestly, there wasn't that many fun facts about this movie I could find elsewhere, which is annoying. This movie has a lot of Disney Channel star songs, honestly, because we have Something Real, who's sung by the main two cast members here.
Yeah.
But Sabrina Carpenter had a song in this movie,
Yeah.
and Selena Gomez's Love You Like a Love Song was covered.
Yep.
So
Well, that was shocking to me. Where it's like, oh, they're pulling a song from a Disney Channel star from their solo career.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're non-Disney.
Yeah.
It's not solo. That was back when she had like a band, but
Was that under like Disney's recording?
it probably was. It was
contract?
probably under a Disney's recording contract.
Okay.
But even still, it's like not really a Disney song.
Yeah, taking it out of the Disney context, like that's a Selena Gomez song. And yes, she was on Disney Channel and she was huge on that. But it was so fascinating to me. And they don't cover songs like that in DCOMs
It's
ever.
ever.
Like it's very rare.
Be Our
Even
Guest in Descendants.
oh, well, that's different. That's from a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare that DCOMs have really mainstream songs at all, let alone singing them.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
I mean, yeah, they only ever get them when they kind of find them as hits before they actually become hits, like You Wish does with
Yeah.
1,000 Miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of crazy. The other thing is, many people, like when I was researching film everywhere, is like, oh, this is just a gender bent version of Weird Science, the 1985 John Hughes film.
Oh.
But like, I couldn't find anything officially linking the two. But if you read the plot summaries, it very much just could be.
Yeah, I know minor things about Weird Science, like Robert Downey Jr.'s in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like have this robot woman that makes them cool or something, and they throw a party, and yeah.
Yeah, it very much, it very much,
Yeah.
like, I get why people say that.
Yeah.
All right. You want to hear the Disney Plus description?
Yeah.
AP science and math tests are no sweat for Gabby Harrison and May Hartley. But fitting in at school doesn't come as naturally. Using design software belonging to May's father, the girls engineer a high-definition version of May's fake boyfriend, Albert, who she's dreamt up as everything a high school girl could want in a guy. But when Albert comes to life as an advanced robotic soldier, the two best friends soon learn that May's father works for a top-secret military branch, which is now in pursuit of Gabby, May, and Albert to ensure he doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Very accurate.
Like, I feel like they're missing stuff, but only because there's a lot of plot to describe in a paragraph.
For a summary, that sets up the movie perfectly to me.
I feel like the whole fun start is, oh no, you accidentally created a boyfriend who's like a super soldier.
Yeah.
And that's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there we go. Facto's concluded.
You ready to jump into the movie?
I am ready to spin into the movie.
Oh, that's fun. That's a fun one. All right. We open up. Originally, I wrote city.
I wasn't going to call you out. I was thinking about it.
Then saw me type city and said, that was the White House. To be fair, it was a night shot.
To be more fair, the Washington Monument is also completely in frame.
It was the White House and the Washington Monument at night.
Lit up.
Lit up, but at night. And I went, oh. Disney Channel original movie. And we see a bunch of like military cars and there's sirens, so I guess there's also cops and like shit's happening, right? In the military, like scaling a building, and there's tons of sparks flying everywhere, and it's super dramatic. And then I wrote captain dude. I learned later this is a general.
Yeah.
So the general says, like, we're looking for fugitives. The president wants an update. We lost a $3 billion weapon. And the dad, who we learned that's May's dad, tries to talk him down.
This is all like flash forward, by the
Yeah.
way. So
Like,
don't worry if you're not following.
I bet you wondered how we got here. That's what this is. And General's like, most dangerous criminals are right over there behind that stack of wood panels. And the dad goes, give yourselves up. Oh, but it was really goofy voice. It was like, give yourselves up. It was weird. And General's like, you stole property of the US government. Turn yourselves in or you'll be charged with treason. And Dad says, and you're not going to homecoming. And then May pops up from behind the wood and goes, but Dad. And he says, no, May, get in the bulletproof Humvee right now. But then, boom, title card. And now it's daylight, and the Sabrina Carpenter song plays. And
It's a very generic song.
and it's like, this is what you would expect the, like, intro credits of a movie to be, right? Where it's like, shots of Washington, D.C., shots of the bedroom with photos of the girls, and we see 2 days earlier. So that whole debacle happens in 2 days.
Yeah. I'm mixed. I'm mixed always on general. Like, if ever there's good flash forward starts, where it's like the record scratch, how do you think we get here?
Lemonade Mouth does it twice.
Lemonade Mouth is hilarious because it does it twice. And then, like, the whole like gimmick of the film doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
It's really funny
It's really
for that
funny.
reason. This film, like, part of me thinks it doesn't need it. It all ramps up really nicely.
Yeah.
The other part is, without knowing that, like, stuff is going to get crazy, the first, like, 20 minutes or so probably would drag more.
Right.
Where instead you're like, okay, we got to set up these stuff to understand how in the world these two girls are going to steal a $3 billion weapon.
Yeah, it really lets you know right away that as they're doing the building, like, they're gonna get in trouble for this, which is, it makes it funnier that
Yeah.
that they're casually building this, and like, oh, the military is gonna really be mad at
Yeah.
them.
I mix on that, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily negative on it.
Yeah. So now we're at high school. The girls turn in their tests within 10 minutes of starting the test.
Yeah, these are very stereotypical Disney Channel nerds, meaning they're going to raise their hand and ask for more homework, meaning they're going to do the math in their head
Mm-hmm.
and be like, I just checked it.
And they wear glasses, if not for just aesthetic.
Yeah. Again, I feel like this movie is the opposite of a lot of other DCOMs that we talked about, where it's like, they only didn't have to change that much. There's a good movie within here. There's an awful movie within this movie if the script wasn't as tight as it is.
Yeah.
Because all of this could just come off as just lame and, like, unoriginal.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, a lot of these jokes land and stuff. But, like, for now, it's just, like, the most generic stuff you've seen of, they're nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not popular because I'm nerdy.
Yeah. We learn that they're sophomores, and right now they're in senior calculus, and the teacher's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're already done, and why don't you check your work? And they just, like, kind of look up and think in their head, done, checked, mentally.
And the senior girls are like, hey, don't ruin our curve.
Dorks.
Yeah.
Curve ruiners. And the girls were like, can we leave class to, like, go tutor and stuff? And the teacher's like, yeah, why not? And then as they leave, May is very sad that they were called dorks. But Gabby's like, no, we were called sporks, which is the most versatile utensil.
Good one.
Good one.
What a save.
I like sporks.
What a save.
Opinions on sporks, Benji?
Sporks are fine. The only reason I, like, don't care too much about them is because I feel like not 80% of the time they're just a spoon.
Yeah.
So, like, you're trading off the spoon for, like, the occasional times that stabbing something helps.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But it's also like, you could also just have a spoon and a knife. Or a spoon and a fork.
Not in my high school. We were given sporks.
It's called the economy.
So then in the library, May tutors Noah Centineo, whose character's name is Jaden. And May makes him like picture a football field as a circle.
She's teaching like the unit circle
Yeah, like pie.
as football metaphor. It doesn't track in the slightest,
No.
but
And she's like, close your eyes, close your eyes. Picture a football field, but it's a circle. And she takes off her glasses while his eyes are closed, like, oh, I'm gonna be vulnerable. Now, over here is the quarterback, and over here is the running back or whatever. And he's
safety.
like, oh my god, that's like 2/3 pie or whatever. I don't remember circles. Geometry. I don't know.
And he's like, he gets the question right, and he's like, wow, I didn't know you liked football. And she's like, I don't.
But you do. Oh my gosh. And then Jaden's like, are you gonna go to homecoming? And she's like, oh, I don't know. Gabby and I like to play it by ear. And Jaden's like, well, you should go. You never know what you'll miss. So he's like saying you should go to homecoming. Like he's not giving up jerk vibes at all. He's giving off like
He's
he
looking
kind of
like
likes her.
he's looking like a sweet boy, and they were definitely flirting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But too
But
bad.
you're like, is he just using her? We don't know yet.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then at lunch outside, this is one of those outside schools where
People are outside
people are
all
eating
the
lunch
time.
outside. We cannot relate. We grew up in Minnesota.
Hey, I ate lunch outside
With
occasionally during
tables
summers.
outside?
There was a small patio, yeah, with a couple picnic tables. Not much. Most people would eat inside and then just head outside or eat on the grass.
Yeah, that's fair. We'd always be like, can we have class outside?
Same. Love that.
So May tells Gabby, like, I think Jaden likes me. And Gabby's like, nah, he's just using you for your brain. And she's like, but we had this moment today. Like, he almost asked me to homecoming. And Gabby's just being very pessimistic. She's like, nobody's going to change the world.
Gabby's character arc is realizing she can be wrong.
Yeah.
The only thing, like, she's extremely wrong about the fact that Jaden does genuinely like May. And
well, spoiler, Benji. What the heck?
If you're listening like an hour into a podcast on how to build a better boy, you're gonna get spoiled. Darth Vader is Luke's dad.
We already talked about that. Oh man, Benji just spoiled How to Build a Better Boy. So yeah, that is gonna be Gabby's arc, but right now she's just like, meh.
Yeah, so it's just all these times she's being annoying to May and being like, it's impossible, give it, and like it's too much. There's one thing to be like, oh, hey, I don't want you to get hurt. And then what Gabby's doing here is much more like, bitch, please.
Yeah. Gabby says, we have the brains, we're an amazing team, and someday we'll blow them all away. But boys are a distraction. And May says, you're right. You're always right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always right, except when she's wrong.
In the hall, Nevaeh is passing out flyers for her to be homecoming queen.
She's like, vote Nevaeh for homecoming queen.
Mhm.
I'm the popular girl. And like 20% of DCOMs, that means I'm annoying, bitchy, and kind of a girl boss.
Yeah, kind of a girl boss and obsessed with winning the crown.
All I care about is the crown.
It's literally all I care about.
And
God, I can't wait for Princess Protection Program.
These characters have such a range for me. I feel like it really depends on if the movie's good or not.
Also, remember Radio Rebel? It's literally all she wanted was wear a crown.
Yeah.
That's all she wanted.
She didn't even care about winning. She just wanted to wear the crown.
She wanted it to be socially acceptable for her to wear a crown in public.
Yeah.
Hilarious. We love a mean girl who just wants to win queen.
And that's basically Nevaeh.
Yeah. She just wants to be popular. Gabby gives a teacher a laptop that she fixed, so we know she's good at computers. And he's like, cool, I'm gonna go catch up on my online Tango lessons.
Yeah. The principal's kind
that
of
was the
weird.
principal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of weird. He's not a character in the slightest.
But he is around. May gets a phone notification and she's like, oh my gosh, Jaden texted unprovoked. He texted me.
Oh my God.
It says, meet me after practice with an S.
Oh my God. Yeah, he spells this terribly.
Yeah. Meet you later with a D. It's bad. And Gabby's kind of making fun of him for it. And Gabby's like, he's not going to ask you to homecoming. But May's excited. And she says, see you there. THEIR.
Girl, you don't have to dumb yourself down for him. If he does like you,
she literally dumbs herself down all the time.
Which that is the wrong lesson to take.
Yeah. And I think she realized that at the end of the movie too. Yeah. Nevaeh sees this happening and is pissed. Nevaeh's just pissed all the time.
Yeah. From this moment on, she's just gonna be angry.
Yeah. So we're at like football practice. May and Gabby show up. And May tells Gabby that when Jaden comes over, just like be normal.
Did we mention that Jaden's the quarterback for the team?
No, but he is.
He is.
Yeah. They were talking about football earlier. Yeah, he's the quarterback. So yeah, May's like, Gabby, don't say anything smart. Just be normal. But then Nevaeh rolls up with a huge squad of bitches.
Definitely like 10 posse.
So many, probably more than that. There was a lot.
Yeah, it's like
none
half
of talk. She doesn't have like her dumb best friend character.
There's like one girl that like would occasionally like fix her outfit, and they don't talk. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's different.
There's not goons that like we have to say we don't care about them enough to talk about their actions.
Yeah, too much is happening in this movie for to have a best friend that says stupid shit. Like it's mainly just Nevaeh. She's like, what are you guys doing here? And May says, well, Jaden invited us. And Nevaeh says, you're not even on the same social radar. You're like way off over there. And everybody laughs. And Gabby says, why do people even like you?
Honestly, I love that this at the start of the film's crazy. Because this is like other DCOM's crowning moment is the girl standing up for themselves and being like, all you are is mean. And everyone's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They say it at the beginning. Gabby doesn't matter.
Why do people like you? That's so Gabby. She's just like, this is so stupid. Why do you have friends? Nevaeh says, I'm not the one trying to steal someone's homecoming date. I've been dating Jaden for 17 whole days. Everybody knows except the geniuses. Oh my gosh.
Boss.
She tells May to back off. And then Jaden comes over and he's like, oh, hey. And Nevaeh's like, Jaden, you're asking me to the dance, right? Like, he hasn't even asked her yet.
Eyebrows and like...
That's eyebrows?
Yeah, exactly. Not eyelashes, eyebrows. That's gonna make great podcast footage.
I was moving my eyebrows. Yeah, so he hasn't even asked anyone yet, but Nevaeh's just like, you're gonna ask me, right? And there's a big dramatic pause. And he's kind of looking around, but then Jaden says, yeah. And
it's really like dejected and obvious he doesn't want to.
Yeah. So no, it is obvious that like he does like May. Whatever. Nevaeh says, I knew it, but there's been nasty rumors that you're gonna ask someone else. And Jaden's like, oh hey May, maybe tomorrow we can go over some more math because I'm clueless. And Gabby says, yeah, we can see that. Yeah. Burn. And then Nevaeh says more cringe shit, making fun of them, and then leaves. And then
May's like starting to stand up for herself, and she does what any wise girl would do when you've been told off by a bully. And
she lies.
She says, I have a boyfriend. He goes to another school.
Yeah. Mitchie from Camp Rock be like.
People on the school playground be like.
Yeah, I already have a boyfriend. And Gabby's like, what? And May keeps going on. She's like, yeah, my boyfriend's name is Albert. And like Gabby starts helping her too. He's a big athlete. He's smart. And he works with endangered animals. And Nevaeh says, well, when can we meet him? And May's like, well, he lives in Alaska. So
that might be difficult.
Yeah. And then
it's like, that was the most obvious lie I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Because it was.
He doesn't exist.
And this is like, girl, you just played yourself.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb of me to do. You just gave them ammo to make fun of you some more. Yeah. But then they leave for real. As they leave school, everybody teases the girls about the fake boyfriend thing. May's brother, we get introduced to, his name is Bart. He has a car, and it's yellow, and it kind of looks like a taxi. And this is a small joke that is actually kind of funny later. But, yeah. Bart is trying really hard to impress Gabby, so it's obvious that he likes her. Bart mentions like May's misfortune day because everybody in the school knows about it. It's on the school website,
Which
apparently.
I want to know, is there like forms for the school, which is really funny to think about mentally to me, or B, was this like student reporter wrote about this, which is also funny.
Within like an hour, I feel like. Not
To
like
be
30
fair,
minutes.
it was pretty wild.
Yeah, and she lied about having a boyfriend. And then she's like, whatever, you cried after your World of Warcraft character died or something.
I think it was Wizardcraft.
Yeah, it wasn't World
I
of
think that's more of a
Warcraft.
Wizard 101 analog,
Oh, okay.
personally.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, don't. He saved countless lives, whatever his name was. And it's like tearing up about it.
We're establishing that he's also a dork.
Yeah.
So now in May's bedroom, both of the girls are there and they're brainstorming what to do about this fake boyfriend thing. And May's like, I guess we'll just have to come clean. Why would Jaden even be with me? I thought he was different. And Gabby's like, yeah, boys suck. But what if we make a better
Oh my
boy?
god, that's the title of the movie, basically.
Oh, yeah. Virtual boy. May's dad makes really cool video games.
Her dad's a video game programmer and definitely not a contractor for the U.S. Department of Defense.
Definitely not. And Gabby knows how to code. So they're going to hack into his secure network and build May a boyfriend. Let's do it.
Let's talk about how dumb this plot is to start with.
Yeah, where it's like, I'm going to lie about a boyfriend. Well, what if we just make an AI boyfriend? But AI, like, wasn't used.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't really a thing the way it is now.
Yeah, because obviously AI was known and like existed, but it was not colloquial as it is now.
Yeah.
But regardless, just the plot of this movie fully relies on you buying into these two teenage girls deciding their best course of action for lying about having a boyfriend is to make a video game character.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to fix their problems. I think it's just Gabby trying to make May feel better somehow, but is it making her feel better?
She's into the idea. She's like, cool, we're gonna have a sleepover.
Yeah, let's sleep over.
She's like, well, you have to check in with your mom, and Gabby like follows her mom, answers in a second, says, "Can I sleep over?"
Cool, done.
Done. We don't see Gabby's parents through this film.
No. And then May says, we just can't get caught because my dad is super secret about his work. And Gabby's like, why? It's a video game company, not the Department of Defense.
And then the text in the bottom right corner as we cut into the next screen.
Department of Defense. Secret laboratory for Department of Defense. It's like, it's such a like setup.
Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah. Again, explaining comedy on podcast form and a long form podcast review of a movie isn't going to be the most successful. We like the jokes in this movie for the most part. Not all, and not every single one lands, but a lot of them do.
Yeah.
It's a decent comedy.
So this Department of Defense secret laboratory is hidden as a video game company. May's dad welcomes in the general, same guy that we saw earlier. They go into the top secret lab and they're working on the X-17, which is like a super soldier robot.
Yeah.
He needs to go ahead from the president to supersede, and the general's like, done, you got approval. And the dad is very excited about his robot.
Yeah. They reveal other like times are here. Basically, they're trying to invent a super soldier that can go do war and stuff.
Yeah.
So not that surprising anywhere. But yeah.
Yeah. Gabby struggles to get into the software. Meanwhile,
she's like, man, why does everything have so many passwords on it? This is crazy. How secure is this video game company that I'm hacking into with ease?
Meanwhile, the dad's in the lab and leaves, and he locks all the doors behind him, and the robot is still in the room. Gabby finally gets into the software, and in the house, that they're in, like down in the dad's office, is like secret tech in there, and there's computers that pop out because she hacked into the military software that she doesn't realize is military. And then the robot room is also lighting up while this is happening, so you know that while she's doing this on her computer, stuff is happening to the robot. But all they see is the gaming logo, so they think they're just making a video game character.
Yeah, I feel like once you get past this point, I guess maybe that's to stop if like your kid walked in on you with these documents, you're like, oh, I do work at a video game company, I guess.
Yeah. So they start building the boyfriend. It asks for a home base, so they say his home base is the high school, and then May is the commander. They make him super powered, like full
They-
power on mind, body, and soul. They just put
you-
the tracker all the way up.
You didn't mention this. The first question they ask, and this is something I really wanted to point out. The first question they ask when making this boy is, what is his allegiance? Which really worries
Oh,
me
right.
because why wouldn't it just always be set to, the country that's making this America?
Yeah, they had to type in United States of America.
Like, this is just setting up like the people who are trying to buy this on the black market way too well. They can just be like, you work for us.
Russia. Yeah, that would have been crazy. That's a good point. I should have defaulted.
It is wild that that's the first question.
Yeah. Okay. So May starts describing what she wants out of a boyfriend. She wants the boy to be tall, blonde hair, blue eyes. Sound familiar?
Yeah, this is just actually a commentary on World War II.
Damn. He's cute, but he doesn't know it, which makes him even cuter. And he's super polite, almost Canadian. Wasn't this filmed in Canada? You think it was?
I think it was. There's one piece that I'll bring up later.
Yeah. He would be sensitive and brave, and with just one look, he would know exactly how I feel. He's strong, honest, but not a meathead. I wouldn't have to guess what he's thinking because he would just tell me. He would notice the little things and be wise. And while it's happening, the robot's being built with all these traits. And May would love to walk into homecoming with him, and it'll just be them. Like it'll feel like it's just them in the world, and then they'll kiss, and it'll be perfect. And the robot overloads, and on the computer they see virtual boyfriend, and he's so handsome. And he reaches out for May, and sparks fly, and she gets like shocked or something. And the robot's dunked in the water, so they're gonna start building the skin on him.
It's always just the girls do a little bit, and then the robots do stuff, and air, rah, rah. And now it's going. Oh my god! And they don't know.
May's on the floor dreaming of her perfect virtual boyfriend, and they're like, "Do you smell smoke?" And so they run down and they see that there's sparks in the dad's office.
Ruh-roh.
The computer is fried. Did we do this? Yeah, probably.
Well, good thing they're going to be able to get away with this.
Yeah. So then Bart catches Gabby in the hall.
Dang it, they're not going to get away with this.
Yeah. He wants something in return for his discretion of them sneaking into the office. He's like, I want to go to homecoming with you. And Gabby's like, no, I don't want to go to homecoming. And he's like, well, that's too bad because that's my dad coming home.
Just blackmails.
Yeah, and so Gabby's like, fine, cover for us. And Bart gets very excited that he gets to go to homecoming dance with Gabby.
Yeah.
So then we see the robot boyfriend being made in the pool of water, and a hand emerges, and it looks like flesh. He is flesh now.
It's a Terminator moment. It's just...
And then a face.
And then he sprints out of the lab, going
super
infinitely fast.
Yeah, super, super fast.
Yeah.
You can't even see him go by. At home, the dad comes in, and Bart distracts him before going in the office. He's like, Dad, let's celebrate you. Work can wait. Mom's out of town. And Dad goes, she is. You know this?
He's tired. It was a long work day.
I guess. And I just one line to be like, do they have a mom?
Yeah.
know.
They wave away a lot of potential characters in here because they're like, we don't want them.
No, too much is happening.
Let's just keep this tight.
Yeah. He goes, burning, but then Bart offers the dad tea, which he gets very excited about the tea. He's like, oh yes, I love chamomile. And then he puts the dad in a relaxing chair with some smooth jazz. He's like, how you feeling, Dad? He's like, I'm comfortable. Suspicious, but comfortable. And then a fountain turns on, and Dad drifts right off to sleep. And then Bart goes in the lab and screams at the fried technology, and the girls tell him She's right away like, oh yeah, we built a virtual boyfriend and now the computer's fried.
It's like, whoa. I
Whoa.
didn't know it was this bad.
Bart says, I'm gonna go throw up now. And Gabby's like, oh, so I guess the deal is off? And Maeve's like, what deal? And Bart says, a private deal? That is none of your concern. And Bart's like, I didn't mean I would cover for this, but fine. I'll handle it. I have a free period tomorrow morning. I'll fix the computer. Even though he's gone from school all day tomorrow.
To be fair, like you can play hooky from school a little bit, even if you weren't planning to.
He's a senior.
He is.
Yeah. So you can get away with that more as a senior.
Yeah. Honestly, the girls could have gotten away with not going to school.
They're too goody two shoes.
They are too goody two shoes.
So the next morning, the dad wakes up on the chair, and Bart's working on the computer, but it's very tired because he was up all night doing it. And the dad wanders towards the office, and it's like a gag. The girls run off to school, and the dad's about to open the door, but then he gets a call, and Bart's there freaking out, but the dad never sees him.
Yeah.
And dad gets called away by the general.
He's like, hey, there's been an incident.
You need to get to the lab right now.
Dun dun dun.
So then at school, Nevaeh bullies May some more. And she says, your new boyfriend added me.
And the girls are like, what?
What? Who
He
made
went
this
to
fake?
his page.
Yeah, and Nevaeh's like, you obviously made this fake profile. And they're like, no, we didn't. And she says, well, then prove me wrong. And then, like, a really fancy sports car rolls up.
We get some slow motion music of just Albert, real
Comes
life
in.
boy,
Oh my God.
coming out.
Slow motion. And he tosses his keys to Jaden.
Which is very funny.
Jaden's like, what? And like, oh my God, it's him. It can't be. It's Albert.
They're all like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Gabby's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, my dad was transferred from DC. He must mean to DC. Like,
it must mean to DC.
In DC.
Yeah.
They have to be. Right? We saw the opening shots of Washington, DC. It'd be weird if they weren't in Washington, DC.
They're in DC.
So, yeah. He must have messed up that line.
Especially because he was supposed to be from Alaska, you know?
Yeah. He should have said I was transferred from Alaska. Well, whatever. And he's like, oh, hi, Nevaeh. Nevaeh is heaven spelled backwards.
And everyone goes, oh.
And I went, oh, that's why it's so weird of the spelling. But once I learned that, it was easy to spell. Nevaeh is like, are you and May dating? And he's like, no. It's more than dating.
Yeah, Nevaeh was about to do a victory lap. But...
Yeah. When you meet the one, it's like being alive for the first time. That's how May makes me feel.
Okay, chill. You're still in high school.
He is alive for the first time. And all the girls love him. And he gets hauled away by the girls to the register office. And Gabby and May are confused.
They're like, what the hell?
And at the lab, Dad and the general are confused.
And they're like, what the hell?
They realize that the robot escaped himself.
Yeah, no one broke in and stole it.
No, it escaped on its own.
But that's like, I'm just happy this worked.
Yeah, this is actually pretty dope that I did it.
The general's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
This is a national emergency.
Like, this is a $3 billion super weapon out in the open.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
So then back at school, Albert has a crowd around him, and he talks about snowboarding for some reason. Everybody loves it. And Gabby says, we have to figure out where he came from. But May is just so smitten that she doesn't really care. And some girls come over. There's like these two random girls that are like not part of the popular crowd. They're just kind of there.
They were part of the seniors and that were like angry about the test being long.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And they gush over Albert to May, like, oh my gosh, he's so awesome. And Gabby says, people just don't appear out of thin air. Like, what's happening? But then Albert comes and whisks May away.
Yeah. And despite May at this point knowing that it's really weird that Albert exists, this is like kind of the last point she questions it.
No, because then she tries to rationalize it later. Yeah. But yeah, she's like, what the hell?
She just enjoys it.
May doesn't care. Gabby cares.
Gabby cares a lot.
In the lab, they look at security footage, but there's nothing on the picture because he's so fast. And the robot was designed to avoid detection, so that's why he evaded it so well. and there's only one witness. A woman was walking her dog last night.
Oh man,
And
if only they got a quote from this woman to tell us about like any physical characteristics that might be able to identify this boy.
yeah, so they did ask her, and she says, quote, he was super cute, candy sugar in my eye holes, and the honorary mayor of Hunkytown.
Imagine saying that to a cop. Just in any situation.
Oh my god, he was super cute, candy sugar in my eye holes. He was certainly the honorary mayor of Hunkytown.
And that's on a government report now.
Yeah,
In a
pretty,
classified document.
pretty great. In class, we get montage. Gabby is like teaching the class
Yeah,
or something.
that's really not explained. Maybe they just didn't want to cast another extra as a teacher.
Yeah, that's super weird because they're about to dissect frogs, and Gabby is the one teaching it. What?
I don't know. There's not a good answer.
Those frogs are alive.
Yeah.
They're live frogs.
So luckily Albert is programmed to be savior of endangered animals, and these
Yeah.
frogs are certainly endangered right now.
Yeah, and so he goes and sets them free. But can we
And
go back to this
everyone
thing?
enjoys it, including Gabby, who
She actually enjoyed it. She's kind of suspicious. But can we go back to like, we're gonna dissect frogs? And they don't say they're gonna dissect the frogs, but that's what they're gonna do because he saves them.
yeah.
Not
And what
only
else does frogs in a
in a lab.
biology
Yeah.
classroom mean?
But like, not only do you have to dissect this frog, you have to murder the frog.
Yeah.
You have to kill the frog.
That's pretty bad.
Cut it open while it's alive. What the hell? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Washington, D.C. high schools are fucked up.
They're dissecting the frogs.
They're dissecting the live frogs. Did you say dissect a frog?
Yeah.
I was gone that day. I dissected a cricket and a pig.
And a pig?
Yeah, a baby pig. You didn't do that?
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
crazy.
smell was terrible because it was all chemicals.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I missed Frog Day.
All right. So after doing the frog stuff, they go to art class and
No, they go to lunch.
lunch first, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody wants to sit with Albert. But he goes off with May. And they don't even sit with Gabby. You
Yeah.
think they're going to sit with Gabby? No. He has a special, like, tablecloth table set up on the football field for just him and
There's
May.
like a violinist playing for
Yeah.
them.
It's like,
Don't-
so cute.
Don't remember he gets money considering
He stole it from the government. Yeah, where does he get all this money, actually, though?
that part's never explained.
Well, you know what, though? He's so fast, he can just go in a bank and steal it.
But how do you pay? Oh, you're stealing. Okay, fair enough.
Just steal it.
He's got to complete his mission. His
Yeah,
mission
this
to
is his
give
mission.
May the best homecoming kiss of all time.
Yeah, and be a good boyfriend. So now they're in art class, and he paints like just hyper realistic portrait of May. It's actually
Yeah, no, you get a fun little cut of May painting like normally, and then it's just basically a photograph.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, that's a good bit. And he's like doing brush strokes on it, like
yeah.
that would not work in the slightest.
Now we're done with the montage. Gabby and Albert are in the library, and he's like, "Oh, War and Peace," and he flips.
May's
through,
favorite.
Yeah, he flips through the pages in 5 seconds and goes, "Oh, nice!" Like he read it that fast. And Gabby's like, "Okay, so you're from the video game company. This must be like a viral marketing campaign."
You're an actor.
Yeah.
You somehow like were getting rewarded for hacking into the system. This is totally. I got it. This makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes more sense than the actual answer, I
Yeah,
guess.
she's like, I guess it's some kind of thing where you can design a person in this video game and then an actor comes and pretends to be them. Like, she's trying to rationalize this in her brain. And then Albert grabs Pride and Prejudice and he's like, oh, Pride and Prejudice. And he starts whipping through it and he goes, scoundrel.
Yeah, he stops at various points in this one.
Scoundrel. Marriage proposal? Spit it out, Mr. Darcy. Yes. And that was the end. That's Pride and Prejudice.
Is that the plot summary of Pride and Prejudice?
Yeah. I've seen the movie Pride and Prejudice, and that's basically it. And Gabby's like, what I mean is you're being like too awesome. You kind of you're going a bit overboard, like tone it down. When you go home, like May's gonna be crushed and I'm gonna be left to pick up the pieces. And Albert's like, I'm not an actor. May is my purpose, and I'm gonna kiss her at homecoming. Perfect kiss.
That's the goal.
So then Bart calls Gabby, and he's like, how's the computer coming along?
He's like,
Bad.
this is terrible. Everything is awful.
Yeah, and also, why is there a picture of an angel-faced, muscle-bound man boy on my sister's photo feed? And Gabby's like, the boy we designed just kind of showed up. There's probably some kind of explanation for
Bart
this.
is like, seems wrong. I'm scared.
Or it says, you mess with nature, you're messing with the fabric of time. My sister shouldn't have a boyfriend. But then Gabby's like, calm down, just fix the computer. And she tells him to replace the specific memory chip thing that he didn't think of because she's so good at computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then out on the track by like the football field and stuff, Albert does 169 push-ups, and the coach just like, all right, stop, that's enough. That's
It's like a
crazy."
push-up competition between him and Jane. Jane is like 70, and everyone's like, wow, that's really good. Meanwhile, Albert's doing pinky push-ups on one hand.
Yeah.
Man, it's almost like this guy's a robot or something.
Yeah, he's like, you ever play football?
He could do an armless push-up.
Yeah. Oh, was it? He goes, you ever play a football and a kid runs to the far end of the field? And Albert,
Albert says no, but I've thrown salmon in my dad's boat before.
what? He does?
Yeah, it was like some line like
I
that.
don't remember that. That's crazy. Yeah, Albert whips a football at him all the way on the other side of the field, knocking him back into a shed. That boy
Should
is
kill
dead.
him. Like,
That boy is dead.
the shed basically explodes.
Yeah, but then the boy comes out and he's like, I'm okay. And you know what though? This is I guess the first time, and he does it again in Zombies, but Paul Hohen just being like, what if these
No, I was going to
boys
mention
just
this
died?
during I was mentioning this during the later time when we get the football game. This is our second straight Paul Hohen DCOM about like non-human cheating at American football.
Yeah, for real. Paul just likes football. These are like some of the very few football decoms.
Yeah,
There's not
football
many.
DCOMs are pretty rare, and we got a couple of them.
So then Jaden and Nevaeh are talking. Jaden says, I never saw her with a boy like him. And Nevaeh's like, no one saw her at all. What is there to see? And Jaden is sad.
And he missed his shot.
Yeah. So then Jaden catches May after school before she leaves, and he's like, weren't we supposed to meet up and do math?
Yeah, didn't you say you were going to do that with me?
Yeah, and May says, sorry, I'm going to go show Albert around instead.
Ditching your 2D?
So your boyfriend?
Crazy.
So now they're in the park. May and Albert are walking around a very pretty fountain with Gabby behind them, and Gabby keeps sneezing a bunch due to the pollen.
Yeah, she is uncontrollable.
May's like, can I have a moment alone with Albert? And so Gabby just heads off on her own.
Still sneezing.
And Albert asks May to the homecoming dance. And she says, yes. I mean, no. Too sudden. And May says, this is crazy.
It's not. Viewers at home, do you think the problem that she has with this asking is A, this is all happening too fast and she's confused about everything? B, she knows intuitively this guy doesn't exist and doesn't want that to be the problem? Or C, she just feels so insecure about herself that someone could like her that she says, oh, not only are you real, you could have someone else who's better than me.
She said, see, you're right. Yeah, it's not like I invented you and maybe this is unethical or weird or something. No, she's like, this is crazy. You could have any other girl in the school, someone just as put together as you are. He's literally a robot. People just don't look at me that way. And he says, that's not an answer. And she says, I'm gonna go speak to Gabby for a minute. Yeah, she's very insecure. And May asks Gabby if she's okay. I feel like that's probably switched. Gabby probably asked May if she's okay. Oh, wait, no.
No,
No, what's that? Never mind.
because of the sneezing.
Yeah, okay. So Gabby's sneezing, whatever. May asks Gabby if she's okay, and Gabby says, no. Isn't this a little fast? Like, this wasn't part of the gameplay. She's like, what? What? Like, game plan or something? Whatever. And Gabby's like, yeah, study hard, graduate early, go to Harvard, become millionaires, win Nobel Prizes, and become president. and I guess vice president of the United States.
Man, this is all laid out and super easy to do.
May says, "Whoa, when are you going to tell me about this plan for my life?" And Gabby says, "I made him to help you, but you're letting it change everything." And May says, "This is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and you're acting like it's a bad thing." And with zero warning, Albert starts playing the ukulele. It's like right in the middle of their
It's in the
conversation.
middle. It's in the middle of the argument. Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing. I love you like a love song, baby. I love you like a love song, baby. And I keep singing it. Beep, 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 beep. He sings that song, and and May also sings it with him, and it's a little duet. Ukulele, Selena Gomez in the park.
Hooray! That was cute, but also
It's cute.
it was cute. It was cute.
And she says yes to homecoming, and everybody cheers. A whole crowd gathers around them for this.
First promposal.
It's homecoming.
The first homecomposal.
Hoposal?
Yeah, exactly. What perfectly said.
Hocoposal?
Hocopozo. Hocopo.
Hocopo. This word's Hocopo. Pro. Hoco Pro.
He's a Hocopo.
He's a Hoco GoPro.
He has a camera on his head?
He's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Bart calls Gabby, and she says, "Bart?" And he says, "Don't say my name. They could be listening."
And he's closing blinds everywhere.
"Oh, did you fix the computer?" Bart says, "Yeah, I did." And she's like, "Fantastic." And he says, "Not fantastic. I wish I had fixed it. I wish I didn't know what I know."
He is freaking out.
Says, "Just get back here ASAP. That means as soon as possible." And she says, "Yeah, I know what it means."
Yeah.
So then in the lab, we learn Black Sigma is after the robot, and I'm like, did I typo that? And then she's like, no,
they just mentioned it like one time.
Black
That's
Sigma.
like, what is that a metal band? And they're like, no, that's like the black market dealers of weapons that's stolen multiple things of ours before.
They get it, the free world's in danger. And Dad's like, how did this happen? The software is only in this lab, right? Well, no. There's a copy of it at my house. So they're leaving. Then we see the arms dealers, apparently Black Sigma, and they're in a van and they speak with Russian accents. And they want to take the weapon, but someone got to it first.
Yeah, they were fully prepared to steal this.
Apparently they knew about it.
Yeah. So for as secure as they're acting like they were, it wasn't.
Yeah. But now it's out in the world, so they just need to find it. So then Gabby gets to the house, and Bart is freaking out. And we see the huge computer is fixed. By the way, it's a giant computer that takes up the whole wall.
Yeah. We're probably not displaying the scale of this as much. It's like a whole wall computer.
Yeah.
Which is not that insane, but is not normal.
A lot of it's fixed with duct tape, which is pretty funny. And Bart realizes that his dad does not design video games. His whole life is a lie. The computer mentions the Department of Defense. He just had a secret computer.
My God, Gabby, you hacked the Pentagon, where my dad apparently works.
Gabby says, "Whoopsie,"
and just immediately starts hacking again.
Yeah, she just.
You think Gabby would take this seriously? No, Bart's the only one that takes this accurately.
Yeah, and she sees plans for the robot, which is X-17, and Gabby realizes that she designed a highly mobile, undetectable, handsome, wholesome, speed-reading, ukulele-playing, dreamy-eyed robot soldier, and set him up with her best friend.
That's such a trailer line.
Yeah, and they hear noise outside, and they hide in the closet, and a giant dude kicks down the door.
It just flies off the hinges.
Boom. And the goons go to the computer, and they see the weapon, plans, they download the files, and they plan to destroy the rest. And Gabby makes
Bart's freaking out, and Gabby's just holding his mouth shut.
So the goons leave, the computer explodes, and Bart's mad because he just fixed it.
Yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah. So then the government agents show up. Gabby and Bart run out of the office into the living room, and the dad and general see the destroyed computer. And dad realizes that Bart is there because his car's in the driveway, so they go to the living room where Bart and Gabby are just trying to sit normal. And
And they're acting like nothing happened, which is
yeah,
funny. They just have the door closed. It's like, this is normal.
and Bart says very sarcastically, "Oh, hello, father." And Gabby's like, "We're just studying, haha." And May is out with the boy. And it's like, yeah, yeah, very real boy.
Very real boy.
boy.
Nothing strange about him.
And the dad's like, "Are you sure you didn't see anything? Like, there was a break-in."
And the dad has all of the military personnel
Yeah,
and
they're all
everything
there.
around him. Their house got rushed by the army.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, no, we didn't see anything, Mr. Government officials here.
And who are these fine gentlemen, Dad? And the dad's like, "Oh, they're for a military video game."
Yeah, I'm like letting them try to figure out how the military works so I
Yeah.
can work on that.
And Bart is pissed off, but Gabby's like, "Oh yeah, no, that checks out. You gotta make sure your video games are realistic." And Bart says, "Yeah, wise. It would be like pretending things are one way, but they're actually a completely different way. It would be dishonest, right, Dad? And lying is bad, right, Dad?"
This is the part that sticks in my head more than
It's
anything
so
else.
funny.
It's just
He's so
Bart
pissed.
is so pissed, but he can't really do that much about it.
Like, he freaks out an appropriate amount that, like, "Oh, my dad's been working for the Department of Defense my whole life and lying to me about it."
I thought I had a cool dad who worked for video games.
Yeah. I never got to play any of his video games. He didn't say that, but I'm assuming he's like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then Gabby leads Bart out. And on the way out, Bart yells, "Only honesty in this house," as they leave. So it's probably something the dad would say to him, of like, "Only honesty here." So then the Russian goons see the robot is heading for homecoming, and they see Bart and Gabby leave the house and decide to follow them to homecoming. And as Bart drives away in his yellow car, there's some random guy in the midst of all these military people that just goes, "Oh, hey, taxi!"
I just want to know why this one guy is trying to get a taxi in his own driveway.
Yeah. Like, all these military people around, he's like, "Hey, this is
Oh,
taxi!"
you're brilliant. Perfect.
And it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. So then at the homecoming pregame party thing, Gabby and Bart show up, and Gabby needs May to shut Albert down since she's the mission commander. And they see May walk in with Albert, and she looks very happy and cool. Apparently, she has a new outfit. Honestly, to me, it looked the same as her other outfits, but she doesn't have her glasses on anymore, so that's the difference.
Oh my god, she doesn't have her glasses on for like the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
She just is squinting
Yeah.
without squinting.
The Russian goons are still after them. Gabby says, "Wow, May, new dress?" And she's like, "Yeah, Albert took me shopping." And then the girls from earlier ask Gabby to find them a cool boyfriend too. But then Gabby pulls me aside to talk to her alone, and she said, and Albert talks with Bart, and Bart's like, "Please don't hurt me." And a goon spots Albert, and Albert realizes that the goon is after him, and he's like, "I gotta go, Bart." So then Gabby May talk. May says, "You just don't want things to change. I get it. It's okay." But Gabby says, "No, listen.
Gabby,
Albert's not a real boy."
Gabby's just so in the right here. She's just like, May, you're being delusional. This guy, you don't just invent a guy.
And he just shows up, and you don't question it.
Yeah, like,
What?
stuff is shitty here. Also, I have a bunch of evidence on this, but I'm not going to tell you it for some reason.
No, she does a really bad job at explaining. She just says, "Albert's not a real boy." And cut to Albert. Okay, while they're having this conversation, Albert's fighting the goon in the back hallway and just absolutely wrecking him.
Yeah, it's very funny. Albert was just like, oh, spotted. And then this one goon's like, I can take it. He's just a little guy, and he's just pummeling this dude.
Yeah. Back to Gabby. Gabby's like, "May, he's a robot." Back to fighting. Boom, boom, boom. Back to May. And May's like, "He's just formal. He's not a robot. He's just formal, but it's cute." And You don't even understand boys. You think they're a distraction, and that's fine. But I love Albert, and I know he feels the same for me. And Gabby says, he can't feel the same for you. It's impossible.
He's a robot.
She doesn't say he's a robot.
No.
She just says it's impossible, which is horrible because
She's a terrible communicator for being so apparently smart.
she's making it sound like, May, nobody could possibly love you.
Just like Jaden.
Ugh. That's how May takes it, but what Gabby means is that he's a robot.
Yeah. It's a stupid miscommunication.
2 sentences ago, she did say, he's a robot. But you need to reiterate it again. He is a robot.
Yeah. A robot who can feel.
Yeah. May tries to leave, but Gabby says, just trust me. You have to end things. Just take him by the hands, look him in the eyes, and say, initiate self-destruct. Says, no, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I'm not going to say that. Because she thinks Elmer's a person, so saying that would just be so weird. Just initiate self-destruct.
Oh, nothing happened? You.
Yeah.
You play it off.
Gabby says, you have to. May says, I need a best friend, not a boss. And Gabby says, well, neither right now is a fun job. May says, then quit.
What a stupid fight.
Yeah, it is kind of stupid. But you know what's not a stupid fight? Albert and the goon fight.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun fight.
And Albert is like super freaky fast and strong. And he beats that guy up and grabs the walkie-talkie and he pretends to be the goon. And he's like, all clear, false alarm. So he did it. The game now. Nevaeh is cheerleading. The game is happening. They're losing 28-3. But the commentator, who's the principal, by the way, says, hey, maybe we'll actually win this time. This is the closest we've ever been.
Yeah, I'm going to point out the number 28-3. Football fans know what I'm talking about. That's all I need to say. You know what's going to happen.
Okay. The goons find the beat up goon. And they're like, dang, he's so crazy, he can sense us coming. We need the electro pulse device to shut him down. They just have one of those.
Yeah, probably one of the other weapons that they stole.
Yeah. So back to football. Albert's in the stands watching May, and you would expect him to be playing because earlier the coach was like, "Oh, you should play football."
He's not on the team,
I guess. So yeah, he's just in the stands with May. And May looks over at Gabby and she's really sad. And then Bart asks Gabby if she told May about Albert, and she's like, no, I didn't get around to it.
And Bart, with some common sense, goes,
whatever. Bart says, my sister's dating a lethal robot and you didn't get around to it? It just didn't come up? What the
like,
hell?
settle your differences and try and save her a goddamn life?
Yeah. Then a player is injured.
Yeah, the running back gets absolutely crushed by the defense, and the backup running back is the scrawniest little white kid you've ever seen. So the coach is like, I need someone else. Hey, Alaska, you're in the stands. Down here.
Yeah, Jaden's like, you can't do that. Coach is like, say that to the scoreboard. So Gabby freaks out and runs down to the huddle. So all the football players are in the huddle.
All the football players in the huddle, including now Albert, who stripped off and all the girls went, ah!
He's in football gear now. And Gabby just joins the huddle. And
yeah,
it's like,
this is crazy. This is someone who's not supposed to be in the football game.
Yeah.
Plus Gabby.
Yeah. True. And she's like, Albert, you can't join the team. And Jaden's like, yeah, he doesn't know the plays. Like, that's the reason why he can't join. She knows it's because he's a robot. But then May also appears in the huddle. Says, what are you doing here, Gabby? And one of the players goes, ooh, bestie versus boyfriend. Grab your popcorn, dude.
They're all still huddled up.
Yeah. And then Nevaeh shows up in the huddle. And at this point, it's really funny because, like, what is everybody doing in this huddle?
Why is this still happening?
Yeah. And she says, don't ruin homecoming. And Albert's
the homecoming's supposed to be about me.
Yeah. And Albert's like, oh, hey, Nevaeh. That's heaven spelled backwards.
And the whole football team goes, oh.
And then they get a delay of game penalty.
Very deserved, although it'd actually be a 14 men in the huddle penalty.
Yeah, actually. But so then the girls leave the field, and May tells Gabby, "Don't talk to me." And the crowd boos and throws stuff at Gabby.
Very funny. They don't even know what was really happening.
Yeah. But they know they got a delay of game penalty.
And it was because Gabby joined the huddle, so you know what? Fair.
Yeah. So then the football play happens. Albert uses his super speed to run all over the field. He gets open, but then runs to a different open spot, like within a second. It's crazy. And he catches the ball and he scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
And all the boys chest bump Albert, but they fall down after chest bumping him because he's so strong.
This is where I'd also point out we see Canadian Football League dimensions of the field. The end zone's 20 yards. They want to pretend this isn't a Canadian film, but it's pretty obvious. This ain't DC.
Thank you, Benji. So we get a montage of football, and Albert's really good.
Yeah.
Cue the "she's really good" button that we should install.
Cue Zed being a zombie in Zombies and winning football is basically the same thing,
Yeah.
except Zed is only pure force, whereas Albert's also just super speedy and like agile.
Yeah. At home, the military are looking for the goons, and they're working with the cops, but they won't tell the cops exactly what's happening. And then the cops hear all about the touchdowns, and they get super excited. 'cause
Yeah, the
it's
cops
all
are just
routine.
watching the game on their phone.
Yeah. And like, whoa, they got this new kid. He's a beast. And the dad sees the video and realizes that it's the robot.
Oh my god, he's doing like the move I programmed him to do.
Yeah. We found the prototype.
And then the video keeps going and he hugs May.
And he's dating my daughter.
Oh no!
No. Back at the game, Jaden likes Albert now because they're like winning the football game, or they're about to win. And coach is like, "I have a plan. Let's get the ball to this guy."
Yeah! Everyone cheers because Albert getting the ball is good. Despite this, another football critique. If your plan is just to have Albert run over people because he's literally a super soldier and has demonstrated he can't be tackled by anything so far, they do multiple reverses, which is just adding very super late. They hand like the ball snapped to Jaden, and then he hands it off to a receiver who hands it off to Albert.
Just like, maybe we won't get to Albert. Just kidding, we are.
That's pointless if he's just strong enough to run through them all, which again he's only shown that he has been.
Yeah.
But all you're doing is adding a potential source of like failure.
Yeah.
So what the hell? But whatever. They run the play.
Yeah. And Nevaeh's pissed at the crowd because they're rooting for Albert, but it's not an authorized cheer. They're supposed to be rooting for Jaden because she's going to homecoming with Jaden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so football happens, the goons are waiting, Albert runs the ball and knocks everyone over, and Nevaeh just like wants him to get
She
tackled.
wants to lose so that she can win homecoming queen.
Yeah, I don't know. And 4 guys hop on Albert, and he's carrying 4 men.
Yeah.
He carries them to the end.
It's like they are pieces of paper.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's like weird CGI, honestly.
Yeah, and they win. Hooray.
Hooray.
As the celebration starts, the goons start their machine and they shut down all the electricity.
Oh no, sparks are flying everywhere,
Yeah.
and you see Albert like malfunction.
He disappears, and the military show up. And Gabby takes May and they run. And May's like, "What is this?" And Gabby says, "Oh, now you want to listen? Your dad works for the Pentagon. Albert's a robot soldier, and the military's after him."
Man, see how easy it was to tell May everything?
Yeah, actually, it was. Well, she did say the words, "He's a robot," and May's like, "No, he's not." So I don't know what more she could do other than saying your dad works for the Pentagon, I guess.
Yeah.
So but Nevaeh heard all of that. So whoops. The goons are still trying to find Albert. They're talking on their headsets. They're like, "Where is he? Oh, I don't see him anywhere." And they all end up being like back to back to each other by accident. And then the military surrounds them and they get arrested. So that's the end of the goons. They're just actually pretty stupid.
The goons really don't have much of a role in this other than to kind of make it seem less bad that these girls hacked into the thing because they kind of saved the device more than ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess, to move the plot around by like having Albert separate from May for a bit. But they're really just plot.
Yeah. So then Gabby and May hide behind the wood that we saw at the beginning of the movie, and we get
Record
that
scratch.
scene.
This is how we got here.
Yeah, they don't say that,
Yeah.
but yeah. the lab, May wants to know where Albert is, and the general's like, sit down. You guys hijacked the most advanced lab on Earth and let loose a super robot. But it's clear your motivations were purely romantic, so you're free to go.
So funny to me.
You didn't want a weapon, you just wanted a boyfriend.
I love this guy that you expect to be a giant hard ass is just like, but it was all for love.
So
You're free to
yeah,
go.
you're free to go. X-17 is no longer your concern. After the electro pulse thingy, he defaulted back to the mission of helping the world. So we're tracking him. So far, he's helped people in South America, the Middle East, and right now he's with mind-sniffing dolphins in the Straits of Hormuz.
You think mind-sniffing dolphins are a thing?
No.
Nice. What a fun lie.
May says he would never leave me. Be a
What the
mistake.
fuck, man? She really got smitten.
Yeah, for real. She's in love. General says he's property of the U.S. Army now, where he belongs. And the general says, in exchange for your freedom, don't speak a word of this. So outside the room, the major tells General that they blame the whole debacle on Colonel Dalton because they have a rivalry. And she shows him a newspaper that says Colonel overreacts to power surge. Whoopsie, my bad, says Colonel Dalton.
It's very funny.
It's actually so funny.
It's a good RBV Navy joke as well.
Yeah, and we
I
paused
appreciate
it, and
The whole article is written.
It's written out. It's so funny.
It's not just like filler text.
If you're watching this, like pause it and read the article. It's pretty funny. General says, "Well done, Major. All's fair in love and war." And she says, "Wouldn't know, sir. Haven't seen action in either."
He said that was like an optimistic salute, and
Yeah.
I think that's so funny. It's like it's such a minor character as like the general's lackey,
The
but
Major.
she delivers some funny ass
Yeah,
lines.
she's pretty funny. And then the dad comes out and asks how the robot is functioning, but the general says that's above your clearance.
Yeah. Do they not have the robot or something?
I don't know. Well, no, he's abroad and they're tracking him.
Yeah.
So then Gabby's like, guess it's over. And May says, no, Albert will come to his senses and remember me. I'll be there when he comes back. I'm going to homecoming.
Ah, May. She's right.
Gabby rolls her eyes. Did you hear a word they said? Operation Boyfriend is shut down. And May says, I know he's wires and stuff, but it's so much more than that. And it was like that from the first spark. It was magic. And Gabby says there's an equation for everything, and we understand them all. Magic is for people who don't. And May says, I'm sorry you don't see it, but I'm not giving up on Albert.
This is like the other side of Pixel Perfect, where it's talking about the ethics of dating a robot you partially created.
Where they're like, no, you shouldn't date the robot, but she's like, yes, I am going to date the robot.
They both kind of end in the same way, you know?
Yeah, they do.
They're very similar
Something
movies.
real. It's a new day. May wakes up and sees her homecoming outfit. And then, boom, cut to May in her homecoming outfit getting out of a car. I don't know why they showed her waking up. Just be like, it's a new day.
Yeah,
Okay.
we haven't had much progression of time, so whatever.
It's been 2 days because that's what it's.
And they're not hanging out.
May gets out of the car because her dad drove her to the dance, and he gets out too. And she says it was supposed to be the perfect night. And he says, a girl as brilliant and beautiful as you, you're gonna have that night. I promise.
Aww.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, it just might not be tonight.
She heads up the steps and kind of waits at the top. Like, she doesn't go in. She's, like, waiting for Albert.
Yeah, which it's totally going to happen, right?
Totally. Jaden and Nevaeh walk by. Jaden says, hey, but Nevaeh pulls him inside. Oh, my God. And then May keeps waiting, and oh my gosh, her foot steps out of the limo. It's him! It's Albert!
Oh my God, and the dad sees this and is like,
what?
What?
May says, I never had a doubt. And they go in together. And then Terry shows up, and the dad's like,
This is where the film takes a turn that everything to this point has been like
pretty standard,
if like still fun that they are going the miles that they're going to show some of this stuff. This is where it's like, you know what? This is a clever twist on the formula I was not expecting.
I love it because it easily could have been like a zombie's third act where it just fumbles the bag.
Yeah.
But they thrive in this third act.
This third act is like arguably the strongest.
I love it. So the military shows up and the dad's like, stop. And he's like, I thought Albert was 5,000 miles away. And the general's like, we knew he'd come here, but we couldn't let May know or she would have warned him. So it was just like a trap. They lied to her.
They just flat out lied to her because they're like, we don't know where this guy is, and
Yeah.
we need him, but he's gonna show up at homecoming because that's his mission.
Yeah. So the dad's like, Albert's going to fight you guys, and my daughter's going to be caught up in the middle.
Yeah, if you try and take him by force, it ain't gonna work.
Yeah, he'll go peacefully with you if you let him finish his mission. And the general says, you mean kissing your daughter during a magical moonlight dance? And he's like, yeah, if that's what she wants. That's what she wants. Dad says, if you ruin her night, then I'll quit. And you won't see the X-17 or the X-18 or X-36. And he says, what's the X-36? They're like so close. Their faces are so close right now. What's the X-36? I have no idea. But it's going to be twice as good as the X-18, obviously.
Amazing.
The general says, you don't leave anything to chance. They want a kiss? Then stand back, Doctor, because the U.S. Army is going to make sure it happens. Listen up, soldiers. We have a new mission. Operation Fuck Her Up.
So, again, the military going in and trying to take him by force or, like, steal back, totally somewhat predictable,
Yeah.
Expect that. The military running a high-class operation to get a teenage girl to kiss a robot? Clever, amazing, brilliant.
Like, the perfect kiss. So May and Albert walk into the dance, and Gabby and Bert are shocked, obviously. Nevaeh is pissed. That was supposed to be us. And Jaden's like, whatever, they're a nice couple.
And she's like, no, we gotta pose so that everyone knows
We're
everyone's
popular.
looking. Everyone should look at us.
Gabby goes up to Albert, and she's like, you just had to show up, didn't you? You just had to be a vision of grace and charm. You and May can't end up together. It's impossible. And Albert says, no one knows everything, not even you. And the girls gush over May because they love her.
Yeah, they're wearing polka dots because May wears polka dots.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Outside, General's like, I need this kiss to happen. And they say, you can't hurry love. And he goes, I can and I will.
Incredible.
Where's my covert romance team? And they send in guys with like tons of decor.
Tons of romance.
Yeah. So then Jaden asks Nevaeh to dance, but she is plotting on revealing dirt on Albert.
Don't forget, she overheard
that he's a
Gabby
robot.
saying that he's a robot.
And Jaden's like, Albert's cool. Why don't you just leave it alone? And she says, why don't you stop letting yourself get pushed around? And he says, you know what? I will. I hope we can still be friends.
I wouldn't want to be friends with her, but you do.
I know. Whatever. He could have said, like, you know what? I will. Bye.
Have a good homecoming.
Yeah, that would have been good. And he's like, you just break up with me? And he's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
I did that.
I did not. I did break up with you. So then the principal grabs the mic, and the dance is Paris theme, we learned. And it's time to crown the homecoming queen. And oh my gosh, the winner is May.
What? Oh my god.
Nevaeh is pissed.
So ready to take her crown.
Bart is shocked. The dad's so happy. He's like, my little girl.
We all like my little girl.
Yeah, and the general's like, we stuffed the ballot box.
I love that. It just completely ruins so many of these worlds. The nice girl wins in the end. No, it's rigged, and I love that.
It's so funny. He just like crushes the spirit of like, no, we stuffed that ballot box. We rigged it. Because we also could have believed that May won because of the popularity she gained in the last 2 days with Albert. No, it was the military rigged it. So funny. So then May goes up on stage and starts to speak, but Nevaeh runs up and grabs the mic, and she says, this is unacceptable. But the girls who love May say, no, it is possible. She's a great person, and you suck. They said more words than that, but that's basically what
what happened.
And Nevaeh tells everyone the truth about May's boyfriend. Albert's a machine.
And Jaden jumps in and says, yeah, bro, he's a machine.
Woo! And she says, no, Albert's dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous.
Woohoo!
This works. She doesn't... People are bad at communicating in this movie.
Yeah. Well, Jaden is doing a good job, actually. And she says, Albert's a super soldier who can hurt you, and if he goes near you, you need to get down.
Let's get down! And the dancing
Dancing.
starts.
Bam, bam, bam. Hell yeah. Bart tries to high five Jaden, but it's like really awkward. And he says, how you holding up? And Jaden's like, I'm cool. I just dumped Nevaeh. And I'm also gonna stop worrying about what people think. Um, Albert has it all figured out. He asked May to the dance. I wanted to ask her, but I didn't have the guts. And Gabby is shocked. Like she's realizing, oh shit. Jaden liked her the whole time.
I was wrong, and I led this is all her fault.
It is.
'Cause
Well, no, it's also Nevaeh's
it's
fault.
mainly Nevaeh's fault. It's mainly Nevaeh's fault.
And then Jaden says, see you around, Brad. And Bart says, that's not my name.
Not like, because these girls haven't interacted. They don't really know each
No,
other.
they've never interacted before that we've seen. So on stage, May looks around. She sees Albert dancing, and he waves to her. And Gabby's like, I can't believe I was totally wrong. And Albert was right. Jaden liked May the whole time. So then May walks past them, and Gabby follows her to an outside room.
And they have their heart-to-heart where
Yeah.
everything gets fixed in like 2 seconds.
It needs to. We're almost at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Gabby tells May congrats, and she says thanks, I guess. And Gabby says, I have to tell you something. I want to apologize. We've been friends forever, and it's always just been the two of us. And that was enough for me. But it wasn't fair to you. I was holding you back. I never should have said Jaden was out of your league.
Good apology enough.
It is a good apology. And May says, you were worried I'd get hurt. And Gabby says, no, I was scared of losing my only friend. We're a great team, but you're great on your own. It's okay. All of this isn't really my thing, but if it what makes you happy, then that's what I want for you, whether I'm a part of it or not. And they hug.
Aww.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabby's the one who mainly needs to apologize. May needs to figure out some personal shit.
Yeah. So in time for the moonlight dance, General says, we can get the weapon as soon as he macks with the girl. And the dad's like, and he's like, I mean, kisses the nice young lady.
It's a fun dynamic.
So they orchestrate the whole thing. Music, lights, breeze, rose petals falling from the sky, and the moon, which is like a paper mache moon kind of. And May comes in and goes to Albert, and Nevaeh is still pissed, but Gabby's happy for her. And they start to dance in slow motion, and the general starts tearing up because it's so beautiful.
So romantic.
And Gabby spots the military people and realizes that they want Albert. And Bart's like, we should warn May, but Gabby says, no, she's got this.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, and then May looks around at everyone. The girls, Gabby, Jaden, and she goes in to kiss Albert. And right before they kiss, she pulls away and says, can't.
What? What's wrong?
The lights, the moon, you, everything is just as I imagined it, but it doesn't feel how I thought it would. I made you up because I was hurt a boy didn't want me. I wasn't brave enough to know if he didn't want me for me. That's his problem. Oh, wait. I wasn't brave enough to know if he didn't want me for me. That's his problem. I only get one first kiss. I don't know when it'll happen, but it probably won't be perfect. But I want it to be real.
And that's a fair moral for the story.
Cute actually of it's not going to be a perfect moment, and I shouldn't waste my first kiss on a robot. It should be a real first kiss with a real human
These
boy.
are morals children can take with them. Don't kiss robots.
Yeah. It's alright if your first kiss isn't perfect. Be human.
Yeah.
Albert says, you're incredible. You're doing something I could never do. You're changing. It's beautiful. And that's just so funny to us with all the pixel perfect stuff mainly of I'm a robot. I can't change. I'm not human. Way less of a big deal in this movie than it is in Pixel Perfect. But then he whispers for her to look up. And she says, you knew the army was coming and you showed up anyway? And he says, I had a mission, but now my work is done. Please, this is what I want.
They have a moment where they're looking at each other.
Yeah.
And somehow she fully understands what he wants him to do. And what he wants her to do is kill him. Let's think about this for a second. He wants death, the sweet release of death.
I'm too powerful to be on this earth. He doesn't say that, but that's what he's inferring. He says, just look in my eyes and say it. And so she looks at him and says, initiate self-destruct. And he says, goodbye, May. And then a vortex starts to form around him, and it's kind of like a tornado thing.
The self-destruct is wild because
It's crazy.
it's like a tornado, not like an explosion.
You think it would just explode, and that would be right next to May.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy, actually. But yeah, Nevaeh says, I told you, and also she finds the crown and puts it on her head, and she's fulfilled inside. And Albert busts through the ceiling. He, like, takes off like a rocket.
Yeah.
And that's how he self-destructs?
I don't get it. Does he return to the lab, or did they just waste these billions of dollars?
Were they setting up a sequel?
I don't know.
Or leaving it open? It doesn't matter, they never made one. Bart says, let's give a round of applause to the principal for that awesome special effects. And everyone just claps and accepts that that was just cool special effects. Like, literally, Albert's gone. This man that they've been worshipping the past 2 days is gone. And they're
well,
like,
the only
wow.
one who's made sense is the only one who, like, has commented on this. And he's like, special effects. So you trust the one person that makes sense.
Nobody even knows who he is.
Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, it's Brad. So then Something Real, the song that China Anne McClain and what's her name? Kelly something? I don't remember. The other girl who plays May. They sing Something Real and it starts playing in the background. And the general is really sad that it didn't work. It was so romantic. My moment's ruined. And they're like, you mean May's moment? And he's like, sorry, I'm just a little choked up right now.
This is also where, like, the principal and the major are just...
They had a moment. It was so little.
It was so little, but it's funny to me because these just extremely minor characters are like, no, romance is in the air.
Yeah, it's weird. Jaden's with May now, and he points out the perfect logarithmic curve made
pointing
out
at
of
Albert's fly path.
Yeah, and he's like, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm good at math. I just really liked my tutor. Wanna dance?
Yeah, stupid.
Wanna dance?
Wanna dance?
Wanna dance? May says, maybe later. Okay, can we talk about how kind of stupid that is, though?
Yeah.
Why reveal that he's good at math? You could just say, like, he was bad at math, but he likes her.
Yeah, I feel like that's better.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he really liked her.
Yeah.
He was faking
Maybe you should have just said something earlier.
Yeah.
It would have solved a whole bunch of issues, but whatever.
It explains why he immediately understood the football metaphor, though.
Yeah.
He was good at math.
Because it wasn't a good metaphor.
No, it wasn't.
He just knew the answer.
Yeah. May says maybe later, and I think Gabby says Jaden likes you, and May says no boy is more important than our friendship, and they hug. And Gabby says, well, what if my boyfriend's related to you? And she points over to Bart, who's like kind of like, come on, Gabby, let's dance. And May's like, I thought boys were a distraction, and she says they are, but they're a pretty good one.
And basically, that's the movie.
Yeah, they start to dance. The dad sees them and smiles, and she's like, "You did change the world with a boy or something." And that was the end of the movie. And that's
well, we get credits of like just Bart and Gabby
like
dancing,
blooper dancing. Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, so Gabby is dating Bart.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy that she's like, "Yeah, I'll be your girlfriend."
She like, I feel like I bought it the whole time.
I mean,
honestly.
I like him, so I get it.
I do feel like they kind of work together, not as anything that serious, but as like for fun.
It is kind of crazy though. It's like that's best friend's brother though.
Yeah,
and I guess May's just chill with it.
Yeah, well, May's just like, honestly, with all the shit that went down today, can I really say anything?
Yeah, and she's like, no, if you can have a boyfriend, then I can have a boyfriend.
Yeah,
because she probably will get together with Jaden.
Yeah.
But that's How to Build a Better Boy. Actually, a super fun movie.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it worked really well. Like, I just came in with like no expectations for this movie, and it was actually pretty fun.
It's a fun time.
The humor actually lands.
It's legit, and honestly, like, the only way I really see this movie getting that much better is doing something that's like basically impossible for any movie, which is having even a higher percentage of jokes land. Some jokes don't land, and that's fine.
But a lot of them
do. And that's pretty... It was a very good ratio for a comedy in general, not just like a DCOM.
Yeah.
It's a good ratio. And the only other thing is, like, Honestly, if this had more just generic DCOM cringe where there was bad in some points, I felt like the ironic enjoyment's pretty low on this.
Yeah,
It's just like genuine enjoyment.
yeah,
It's just a pretty decent movie.
we enjoyed this movie actually genuinely. Final Jake House ranking was 17. Pretty high.
Pretty good.
You had a 10.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have it that high, but that's still like I do really like this movie, you know?
Yeah, I have it at 23. So just a little lower, but still really high. I have it in my A tier, which I think I agree with that.
Yeah. I also have it in my A tier.
Yeah. It's a good movie, you guys.
It's a good movie.
Give it a shot.
Try it.
Yeah, that's how to build a better boy.
Cool.
If you have thoughts, you can email us at thedecomduo@gmail.com.
Check out our TikTok, check out
Our YouTube.
yeah, we're gonna have a subscriber special there soon.
Yeah.
If not already. Probably.
Probably not. Probably not, because I have to edit this episode, but come out at some point.
Yeah. All right. What's our next decom gonna be?
Well, we have to spin the wheel.
Oh my god.
What do you think it's gonna be?
I think it's going to be get a clue.
Fun. I think it's gonna be Bad Hair Day.
A pretty similar movie, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Spinning the wheel. Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. It's about to get spooky up in here.
Scream Team?
Scream
I
Team.
don't know why that came to mind.
Happy Halloween in spring.
Yeah. There's a lot of Halloween movies. We have to do this.
Yeah, there are a lot.
This was the last film we watched in our original marathon.
That's exciting.
And that's honestly like the most notable thing about it.
Yeah, otherwise
it takes place in a town right near us.
No, it doesn't.
We'll explain more later.
Yeah, okay. We'll tune in 2 weeks to hear us talk about the Scream Team.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Scenes from our next episode.
Ah.
But like in a team.
But we're a team.
Oh my god, is this the capital of Halloween?
Oh my gosh,
Wouldn't it be Halloween Town?
There's like a DMV, but for ghosts? Isn't that what happens?
Is this just like a really lame Beetlejuice?
Yeah, this is like a really lame Beetlejuice.
It's basically the same movie, but worse.
Oh, there's a ghost.
Oh my god, was this guy that everyone thought was a murderer actually just a totally chill dude?
Oh.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, they got goggles on.
Okay. I really don't remember much.
Man, I can't believe that person's in this movie. I don't know. I can't wait, I can pull up IMDb.
I can't believe, hold on, the Scream.
Kat Dennings.
Oh, I can't believe Mark Rendall.
Yeah, Kat Dennings is actually a person.
Yeah. Whoa, are we gonna be screaming up in this team or something?
What are we, some kind of Scream team?
Is this some kind of Scream team?
This may be our worst next time on yet. It's pretty bad.
We watched this like the most recent out of any of the decoms from the first marathon, and I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Bye.
Bye.